Good evening, everyone. Welcome to RadioSilentPlay.com. I am your moderator for today on Sunday, January 10th, 2016. Let me start off by saying I am not a financial advisor. Please do your own due diligence before trading any stock or options. Trading stocks and options require lots of risk. Okay, so we're doing our second webinar for 2016. I think we started off pretty strong into the week last week. We kind of moved into a little bit more. I guess you're gonna say a little bit more fear in the major markets. I think there was a little bit of carryover into the smaller stocks. I know there's more OTC traders with us, but it still gave us opportunity, especially now. I think a couple of weeks or months back, I spoke about the fear in the overall markets. We were looking at the S&P trading and was really stagnant, wasn't breaking into new highs. You had stocks like General Electric just stalling. I know we shorted some stocks that just did not want to break down, almost manipulated as of sorts. And if you notice, we had a lot of 1,000% winners, like stocks like small caps like KBIO. When you start seeing these small caps or like these illiquid stocks start gaining unsurmountable amount of percentages, you start looking into some weakness in the overall markets. If you traders that don't know, in 2007, 2008, you had a lot of small caps move high, thousands of percentage. Those are clear indicators that shows that there is some weakness and there's a lot of faulty overall major markets. So I want traders to kind of understand that as the big boards and the markets kind of lose their I want everybody to just shut off their mics if you guys can when you guys come on. It's important for you guys to mute because then we get that background noise. So back to what I was saying is there's a lot of weakness right now in the markets. The S&P, going over to the S&P, we talked about that 20130 level, and I talked to traders last week. I said if we lost that 20130, we were going to test that gap fill. A lot of you traders took that trade, the SDS. We also took the puts down for that gap fill, and then actually filled that gap. What I want traders to understand is you don't want to fall in love with this downside. Okay, the markets are down, but at the same time, if you look and you connect these two pivot lows, you're kind of noticing you're getting into some support here at that 191 level. Okay, so I want traders to kind of look at this 191 level, and if you do close below that 191 level, now you can kind of double bottom and potentially test this 185 and then this low here at that 180.30 level. Okay, so I want traders to kind of keep an eye on that. So I'm going to post that here. Okay, so the SPY last week we talked about that 201.30 level, and that was that major support. Okay, I said that if the S&P broke that 201.30 two times, we would see that gap fill, and we did. So now what I want traders to kind of look at is this pivot low here back in August to this pivot low here to October. You're kind of setting up a little bit of a support, a vertical support here on the S&P. So that key level right now on the SPY is that 191 level. Okay, right now you don't want to short into support. If traders didn't take this trade up here, then you don't want to short into support. Okay, you wait for a pullback and a potential retest of this 198.40 level to 200 to start taking that position again. So don't try to force a trade here. Okay, the trade was on 2 consecutive closes below this level. That was the trade. Okay, and if you notice, you had that gap fill, so you had opportunity there. Okay, what we're noticing here is we're riding right into that support. Now, we talked about something called lines of symmetry. I did a webinar with one of the guys, and we talked about what lines of symmetry are. Sometimes these lines of symmetry show a strong pattern, and taking the trade, regardless what the sentiment is, sometimes it kind of gives you a little bit of of an outlook on what to see. And what do we mean by that? If you look at the TVIX last week, we talked about this position right here. This was last week, okay? And we talked about these levels here. Every time it hit that bottom, you were in a line of symmetry or a parallel channel. And every time it hits this or kisses this level, you see a bounce. Okay, well, the TVIX was giving us a little bit of an indicator, okay, that this was going to happen. I talked about that 630 to 730 range to add. And if you notice here, we hit that target 1 of $8 and that target 2 of $9. Now what we're doing, what's happening here? Okay, we're kissing this level. Okay, every time it attempted to kind of kiss this level, it would come down. Kiss this level, would come down. Now it just kissed this level. Now look for that second day confirmation above it. If not, watch for something called the FOBO. Okay, and this is something that I told option traders to kind of remember is FOBO. That's called a fake out breakout. And what happens is a lot of times what people start doing is they start taking the trade here. Okay, but then they don't notice that you don't get a confirmation close above it, and then before you know it, you just break down. Okay, so I want traders to kind of take that into consideration moving into next week. I know the markets overall right now, they are weak, the sentiment is weak, but at the same time, I don't want traders to fall in love with the downside right now. Okay, like I said, you're at support here. Okay, so I did post some long trades on the option setups. I'm going to go over some of that, but I want to go over an ETF, okay, that has clearly broken major support here. Okay, this is the XLF. This pretty much is the ETF for the banking stocks, the financial stocks. If you notice, okay, this was in a beautiful uptrend. Okay, what you notice here, this is what we call a bullish or a bearish flag. I'm sorry, a bearish flag. And if you notice, okay, this was in a clear bearish flag, okay, and it actually just broke. Oh, why am I doing this? This thing just broke on the downside, okay. This is a weekly chart. This chart has broken, but now you're heading into that support here at that 22 level. Okay, so you may see some bounce. Now what you want to do is take the trade, all right? You're going to start looking at some short positions into the financials when you get to this 21 and 8-day moving average. Any move or a pullback up to this level here, that will be a shorting range, okay? So there is weakness in 2016. I do believe we are closing in on a top, okay? Last year, if you notice, it was pretty much a stalled year. You didn't break into new highs. Okay, there's a lot of sentiment right now that this market is propped up. A lot of blame is going into China, and China's not all to blame. If you notice, most of the what's happening in China has happened here already. Okay, the slowdown in growth in China was keeping the United States afloat. The slowdown in the United States has been long gone for quite some time now. So I want traders to kind of understand that sentiment. Okay, don't just believe that it's just about China. It's not about China. Okay, um, when there's slower growth, okay, and oil prices are down, what's happening is that should carry over to regular people, and it's not. Okay, you would think that lower prices in oil would help, but in actuality, it's just causing less jobs, and we may get into a recessionary period. So we could have a market top here. So I want traders to kind of understand that sentiment. I don't want traders to fall in love, but if you notice here, okay, you got a kind of a top here at that 21 and 8-day moving average here at that 23 to 24 level. So any move back here to the 23, 24 level will be a shorting opportunity on the banking stocks. And as I mentioned before, JPM is a barometer for the major markets. I always tell traders to always have JPM on a chart, and we talked about this every time we're doing the webinar. JPM just lost a good support level here. Okay, so this is broken down, and you don't see support all the way down here for JP Morgan. Okay, if you notice here, it's barely holding on to this 58 level. Okay, so I want traders to kind of understand where we're at. Now we're gonna move into oil. Okay, I know a lot of people are asking me, hey, what's oil doing? Is it gonna be time for us to buy these dividend-paying stocks? Well, oil's a little bit tricky right now because it is in a bearish channel. At the same time, okay, you're kind of kissing these levels. If you notice here, every time you kiss this trend line, okay, you bounce. Okay, this time it bounced within a week, okay, or this thing saw a low and it broke this level, okay, several times, but it eventually bounced. We're at that pivotal moment now, okay, so I want traders to kind of keep this in mind. What you want to do now is you want to kind of keep an eye on the XLE. I also have a monthly channel here on the XLE. I'm looking at this 50, okay, this 50 level as support, as major support. You can either do three things on the option on oil in general. You can start slowly accumulating dividend-paying stocks somewhere at or near this range, but scaling in at the smallest position. Or what you can do is you can wait for this XLE to break this key trend line here. Okay, if you break this key trend line here at 70.94 on 2 consecutive closes, that's going to be your signal to be safe on buying oil. Okay, you know, we talked about Chevron, ExxonMobil, British Petroleum. So traders that want to kind of start nibbling and start building a position long, okay, can here, but it would be a little bit more risky because you are breaking key levels. And if you notice here, okay, this is the XLE. This is pretty much the ETF that tracks oil, and you are into weakness. Okay, you are pretty weak here on the XLE. You have some room to break. If you do break this 50 level on the XLE, you don't have support all the way down to that 40.35 level. Okay, so I want traders to kind of understand that. Okay, so if you are going to take a position, you can either add somewhere near this range, okay, but scaling in very, very little, or what you can do is you can wait till you break this key level here at that 71 level. So I'm going to, okay, oil, okay, you got two options, okay, scaling in slowly for a long position, or two, wait for a clean break above 71 on 2 times on the XLE, and that is the oil ETF tracker. Okay, so any questions on anything that I've covered thus far on oil? Anything that any questions on anything that I've covered on oil? I did send out a PDF, so if you don't have a PDF, you can always send me a message and I'll get that PDF out to you guys. Okay, so there is no rush right now in oil. Okay, we are hitting 6 to 7 year lows right now on oil. Okay, so I want traders to kind of understand that. Okay, I have some positions going long on oil, but we're gonna keep our stops in. So ensure those that got into OIL, MRO, ensure that you utilize your stops. FCX, that's another one. That's Freeport-McMoRan, a copper stock, and I'll go over that in just a second. Another one that we talked about last week was the 20-year treasury bonds. Whenever traders feel reluctant on the major markets, they get into bonds. Okay, if you notice here on the bonds on the daily, we just closed above this 123. Okay, we reviewed this last week. We said, can we close above that 123 on 2 consecutive closes? Okay, right now we closed above that 123 level. So what we want to see is that close confirmation above 123 on 2 consecutive closes. If you do, okay, I think that we're going to retest, okay, this 127 level. Okay, so watch that 125 and that 127 level on a 2-day confirmation close, 2-day confirmation close on the TLT, which is the 20-year treasury. Okay, it works inverse to the markets. Okay, with a stronger dollar, okay, you're gonna get stronger bonds. Okay, so any questions on any of that? Any questions on the treasuries? Okay, no questions. Good to go. Okay, beautiful. So I'm gonna go over the next setups. I'm gonna go over some options. Okay, some options that we took last week. Just go over the main ones was Macy's. Okay, Macy's was just a beautiful trade and it's still doing well. Traders, I told traders to watch and lock profits. Okay, we were looking at that 39.40 level and this actually triggered at that 38.40, I believe. 38.40 hit and then it came down, kissed 37.90, and then I told traders to take that trade at 38. Okay, we locked some profits here. Okay, we talked about this level here was in a significant downtrend, tested that, and then came right back down. Now what we're looking for is for this thing to test that 34 level. But at the same time, I want traders to kind of start locking profits somewhere around here. Okay, retailers are having a lot of trouble right now. Okay, but at the same time, I want you guys to lock profits. Okay, the next one that we talked about was Fossil. Okay, we noticed Fossil. I gave you guys ranges here on Fossil, 2 consecutive closes below that trend line. It worked out beautiful. It kind of popped up, hit that 34 level, and then I told traders to take it at 34 instead at that 35, 37 because we saw this gap down. So we played the gap. Okay, it opened, I believe, at 34 and change, and then we traded, and now we just lost that support here at that 31 level. Okay, closing at the low of the day at 29. Okay, so you have some more downside on the Fossil, but at the same time, I want traders to start locking some profits and then just move your stops to break even. Okay, so I want traders to kind of keep an eye. Those that are still in the Fossil, it's still a workable trade. Okay, moving on to the setups for this week. Okay, I'm looking at a couple of bounces. I do believe we may see a bounce on some of these stocks. So I'm looking at the FCX. Okay, again, lines of symmetry. Okay, every time it hits this level, you get a bounce. You get this test. You got a bounce. You got this test. You got a bounce. And now what we're doing is we're testing this bottom here. Okay, you may see a kiss of that $4.50 range. Okay, simply what we're looking for are the May 20th calls. I'm thinking that we may be able to get 40 cents to 80 cents. Okay, so be extremely patient there. Okay, my strike is going to be $6. Okay, that's right below that 8-day moving average at $7.13. So ultimately, I think we can test that $7 to $8 range. Okay, so that's what we're going to be looking here on the FCX, and that's Freeport McMoran, which is on copper stock. Okay, so FCX, that key kiss will be that 450 level. Okay, that's going to be a level that we're going to look for on the FCX. Look for those May 18th May contracts. Strike $8. Okay, and be cheap. Okay, don't force a trade. Okay, the Qs, I like it on the weekly chart. If you notice here, okay, every time you kind of kiss this level here on the Qs, I talked about the Qs being the strongest of the charts. It's still in a nice uptrend, hasn't really tested or broken that 102 level. So I'm giving that entry there at 130 to 102.50. And the reason I'm going $2 gap is because you never know. It might kind of test that 100 Bollinger Band down there. Okay, so watch that Q. The Qs is the strongest in the market. Okay, those guys that are in NVIDIA, okay, in the NVDA trade, I want traders to kind of keep an eye on that trade. We've broken support. Okay, I said a stop close is a close below 29 2 times. We've kissed that level. Okay, if we close below 29 on Monday, okay, that's going to be a stop out. And then we're going to look here, okay, for a short position anywhere to that 21 and 8-day moving average on NVIDIA. Okay, so NVIDIA may stop out calls. Okay, if it does, we are going to look for that short. Okay, and we're going to look at that 27 level, 27, 28 strike. Okay, so I want traders to kind of look at that one. Another one that kind of lost it was the Adobe Trade. Okay, if you notice here, we've broken key support here on, we broke that 90 level. Okay, remember I told traders, watch that stop close below 189.40, and you actually stop closed on this trade. Okay, you lost that trend. Okay, so now you're looking at a potential short. Any pullback up here will be a shorting opportunity. Okay, so this is a level that I would not be surprised for us to kind of test this level. Don't do it now because you're shorting into some support. Okay, so you're shorting right into support. So you want to see this kind of follow through. Okay, and then any retrace up here will be a shorting opportunity. Okay, so moving on to the next one. So the Qs are looking strong. I think we may have a bounce here on the Qs. I'm looking at this weekly chart on Alcoa, ticker symbol AA. Okay, I like this buy zone here. Okay, watch that $7 kiss here on the Alcoa. Okay, if it does kiss that $7, I'm going to start looking into March 19 strikes at $8. Okay, and I'm going to be cheap on these, 40 to 70 cents. Okay, I think they're at 70, 80 cents now. Okay, next one is IBM. Okay, line of symmetry. Again, every time it hits this trend line here, okay, you get a bounce. Okay, hits that trend line, you get a bounce, and you got a pattern trade right here. Okay, so don't fall in love with the downside, but at the same time, ensure that you use your stops on these, because if this thing rips right through it, we want to make sure that we stop out with minimal loss. Okay, oil, like I said, OIL, it did kiss this level and it kind of broke it. So I want traders to kind of keep an eye on the OIL. This did trigger our entry. Okay, we talked about that 550 to 620 level, and look at this. Okay, we saw a low of 564 and we closed at 567. So another one that kind of triggered was the MRO. Okay, this one kind of broke through, ripped right through levels. Let's look at the MRO, where we got the MRO. And that's your marathon oil there. So you lost that level. So watch that even 10 kiss. Okay, you saw a low of $9.86 and then you bounced a little bit. So you do see some, you may see a jump in the MRO into next week on a bounce. All right, so that's pretty much it. I'm going to move over to the small caps. Any questions? Any questions on the options? Any questions on the options? So right now we're in bearish sentiment, but at the same time, we're not falling in love with the downside. We are moving into some support levels on the SPY with these pivot lows. The connection right here, right on that 191. And if you look at the Qs, same thing. The Qs are still on a weekly uptrend. So I want traders to kind of understand the Qs right now. You are still in a considerable uptrend. So do not fall in love with the downside, okay? Because you are still in this uptrend here. So I want traders to kind of understand that. All right. Another thing is gold. Okay, GLD is kind of bouncing here. So we were talking about the line of symmetry here. This traders that took this trade here at these levels panicked, but at the same time it held. And like I said, it's a pattern trade. Every time you hit these levels, okay, you bounce. Okay, you bounce, hit that level, you bounce, you hit that level, you bounce, you hit this level, and now you're bouncing here. Watch that close above that 106 level on 2 consecutive closes. Okay, on the gold. Okay, another one is silver, same trade. Okay, silver is hitting that level as well. So we told traders to watch that kiss of 13, and look, it actually kissed 13. And now what we're noticing is some bounces here. So watch that test at that 14 level. Don't fall in love with gold and silver. They are volatile stocks. If you guys want to trade something something strong, look at the GDX. Okay, the GDX will be somewhere near that support level. Okay, right there. If you notice here, you're at the scene of the crime here for the GDX. Okay, you hit this level here, you bounce. Hit this level here, you bounce. You hit this level here, you bounce. Okay, so just keep an eye on the GDX. All right, next we're gonna go over the small caps. Small caps buy zones. We were stopped out of a stock last week, was HK, also ticker symbol DRYS, triggered. I'm looking at this PRSN. Okay, right now it's at 12. If you look at the 50% retrace from this previous low of 25 cents, it's at 12. Okay, I'm being a little bit cheaper. Look for that probability trade from 9 to 10. If we could get that 9-10 level and place your stop close below 8, you're risking about 10%. So look for that 9-10 and then potentially that kiss of that 15 cent and maybe a target 2 of 20 cents. Okay, and sure, if you do add, make sure you have your stops and make sure you lock profits on the way up and set your sell orders immediately for good to cancel or for 60 days. So just make sure short on small caps, use your stops. Okay, 50% retrace of PRSN from that previous 25 is at 12 level. So I'm being cheap. Look at probability range. Okay, so any questions on the PRSN and what is a probability trade? Okay, that's anytime you're risking 20 to 30%, okay, to make 50 to 100%. Okay, next ticker symbol is MNKD. That's Mankind Corporation. If you notice here, okay, this had support here at that $1.40 range. If you go 50% retrace from that level is that 70 cents range. Okay, I'm looking at that 52.62 level. Okay, right now it's at 66 cents. Okay, this is the weekly chart. So what you guys can do is wait for 2-day confirmation, 2 green day confirmations. Guys can either wait 2 green close or consecutive close for our reversal signal and then add the pullback with the previous made low. Okay, and simply place your stops very, very tight. Okay, if you do get filled at 52 to 62 cents and the stock closes one day at 75 cents, the next day at 80 cents, then you know that that previous low is your support. That's where you move your stop. Okay, that's simple as that. Okay, I know some traders don't like to trade the small caps, but usually when you trade these small caps, you need to trade a larger sum of money. Okay, so that's ticker symbol MNKD. Another one that we're in a little bit of a wedge here and at probability trade. Okay, you can either take 2 options on this trade. You can wait for that close above 16 cents on 2 consecutive closes. Then I wouldn't be surprised to test that 20 to 25 cents. Okay, or what you could do is wait for that pullback and simply place your stop close below that 9 cent range. Okay, and then you could trade this up. If you notice, every time it kind of hits this level, it bounces. Hits this level, bounces. Hits this level, bounces. So watch this 10 cent range. Okay, this could be a scalping vehicle here on the AMDA. Okay, next one is the HK. We did lose that that dollar range that we were talking about. We were looking at that dollar range. I looked at this support here, that 50% retrace here from $1.20. Okay, it's going to be somewhere around 60 cents. Okay, so you lost that support here on the weekly chart. So watch this 85 level. Okay, previous 52-week low was at 86 cents. So if you close below 86 cents 2 times, which 85 cents is 1 time, okay, watch this pullback down to that 57 to 67 cents. Okay, that's 61.8% retrace from this level here at that $1.13. So Just keep an eye on the HK. I'm looking at that 57 to 67, and then just simply place your stop close below that mental support at 50 cents. Or what you can do is you can wait for 2 green closes. Okay, 2 consecutive green closes, and then wait for that, or move your stop close at that lowest price per share that it put in. Okay, next ticker symbol is ticker symbol KOOL. Okay, Thermogenesis Corp, KOOL. I'm looking at this trend line here. Every time it hits this trend line, you bounce. Hit this trend line, you bounce. Okay, now we kind of broke down below that trend line. That's that 15 level. So go 50% retrace from that 15 level. Look at that 10-cent range. Okay, be cheap. If you want to bid 9 cents, 10 cents, 8 cents, just simply place your stop close 10 to 20% below that. So you risk only 20 to 30%. Okay, if this thing moves higher, wouldn't be surprised if you retest that 20-cent level. Okay. Okay, that's pretty much it. Any questions on the small caps? Any questions on the small caps? Okay, let me just go over the ticker symbol TRIS, because this one did trigger. Tri-Ships is having a little bit of trouble here, but you're right at that 12-cent support, bullish inside flag pattern. But at the same time, okay, the shippers are having trouble right now. But those that took the trade here, 10 to 13 cents, got to fill at 11 cents. Okay, what you want to do is just simply place your stop close below 10 on 2 consecutive closes. Okay, that limits your risk to 10 to 20%. Okay, so that's basically it. Now I'm going to go over the weekly watch list. Any questions on the small caps? Any questions on the small caps? Okay, no questions. Okay, great. So no questions on the small caps. Okay, so we're going to go over the weekly watch list here for the OTCs. Ticker symbol AHIX was a good trade for us. We've mentioned it when it was trading at 0.0011 to 14. That was basically with no volume. The stock then released news. Okay, we were looking at this bottom potential here, and then we took the trade. The stock rallied and it hit a high of 42. Then we saw a little bit of a topping tail, gave us an opportunity to re-enter the stock at 15. Then you ended up hitting a high of 43, closing somewhere above it. We needed to close above 43, 42 range on 2 consecutive closes, which it did. The next day, it kind of pulled back to 30 and then rallied, hit a high of 0.0117. Okay, I told traders about this trend line here. Okay, this is a key trend line, which is a downtrend slope. Okay, we needed to close above that. Okay, and that was at that time, it was somewhere above that 0.0068 level. I said, let's close above 0.008 on 2 consecutive closes so we get that support in. That never happened. The following day, that stock closed in the low 30s. And then if you look at that previous pivot point, you go 50% retrace from that level, okay, of 43. You kind of break that down to about 21, okay, and it actually kissed that 23 level. So right now, what I'm looking at is a potential bullish inside flag pattern, maybe a potential cup and handle here, okay, very, very tight. Okay, watch the buy zones here, okay, at 0.0025 to 0.0035. Now, how do I figure that? One of the traders asked me, why are you picking that range? Because if you look, the low of the day was at 0.0023. Okay, the high of the day was 0.0042. Okay, and the stock closed at 3.5. Now, if you add 4.2 with 2.3, you find the average or the mean, the mid score. That if you add 42 to 23 and then divide that by 2, you get somewhere around 32. Okay, so watch that 25 to 35 level. If you want to bid 32, simply place your stop close below 25 on 2 consecutive closes. That minimizes risk. Okay, so my remarks is the bullish inside flag pattern. Watch for that retest of that 0.008 level. Look for 2 consecutive closes above that downtrend resistance, okay, which is this level here, okay? and then it could retest at 0.0117. So if it does break 0.008, that's going to be your next pivot. It's going to be that 0.0117 previous high. Okay, if it does break above that 0.0117, then we're going to look at that 0.02 to 0.03 level, which is that 50 and the 100-day moving average. Okay, so I want traders to kind of understand that. Now, let me talk a little bit about what this stock is. Okay, this stock is biometrics. Okay, we're working on a video and we're going to explain how biometrics could be the future. Okay, so I want traders to kind of understand that as we progress, as you start seeing security, they're going to start using these biometrics. You're listening to about chips being implanted so you could get into certain places, retina scanners for your eyes, thumbprints. That's all biometrics, okay? And that is going to be the wave of future, especially with security. Okay, so I want traders to kind of understand that concept. If you get some news into this, I wouldn't be surprised for a retest. Okay, all you need to do is simply take and put your stop close below that 25 level on 2 consecutive closes. That ensures you, okay, to not lose and to manage your risk. Okay, so that's that trade. Okay, next stock is a probability trade. Okay, it's a 9 to 11, 20% risk probability trade. And why do I say that? Okay, because if you're buying anywhere from 0008 to 11, okay, that's about a 20 to 30% difference. If you place your stop close below 0009 on 2 consecutive closes, that ensures you to at most lose 30%. Okay, our pivot is going to be that previous, okay, low or low support at 0.0015. And why do I think this stock has the potential to kind of move higher? Well, if you look at the weekly chart, okay, you're noticing you have a 1, you have a 2, you have a 3 bar drop. Okay, you got a 50% retrace from that 15 level, okay, which is about 10, 0009. Okay, so if you look here, okay, this stock is starting to kind of curl up on the MACD on the weekly. Okay, so all you need to do is simply buy cheap, buy somewhere around this range, and then simply place your stop close below 0009. So if you bid at 0008 or 9 and you fill, then you can look to lock profits somewhere, okay, close to this pivot range. Now, if you close above 15 on 2 consecutive closes, then we're looking at that 22 break. Okay, and then if you break 22, I wouldn't be surprised if you test that 30 to 50 range. Okay, that's trading the levels. Okay, so I want traders to kind of understand that right now you have authorized shares of 500 million as of January 9, 2015. I don't know if they raised. You may want to check that. Float 26 million as of January 9, 2015. You may want to check that as well. Okay, it hasn't been updated, but it is fairly new. Okay, so remarks is a probability level off that 15 key support lost. Watch that 50 to 61.8% retrace. That leaves you like about 0008 to 10 level. Okay, place your stop close below 9 2 times. Pivot break will be that 15 old support. Then you're 22, and then you're taking 30 to 200% reward level or your risk reward ratio. Okay, so that's something that I want traders to kind of understand, risk reward ratio. Okay, so the next ticker symbol is ticker symbol BAYP. Okay, if you notice, this is a post reverse split. They don't have that chart on stock charts, so I use the profit SPY. What I noticed here was a 30 million volume surge. I saw this on Friday, okay, getting bought, and I saw that the trade. Okay, so RNM is saying that the TSTS has a 1.5 billion authorized share count. So they did raise 1.5 billion. Okay, so 1.5 billion has run before. It's not that much. All you simply have to do is, I think this is baked into the cake already. Because if you notice, I don't know what date this was. Okay, but 1.5 billion isn't that much, and this is a stock that used to trade way up here in October. So if you notice here, you had a bear flag here, and now you push and broke lower. Now what you're seeing is a 3-bar drop, and at the same time, I think that that's baked into the cake. And if you're placing your stop close and you're being very surgical with your entry, and you buy this at 8, 9, there should be no reason why you can't sell this from 12 to 15 to 22. Okay, so I want traders to kind of understand that. This is why you trade. The law of infinite return. You're buying something of lesser value and you're selling at a higher value. It's totally up to you. We've traded probability trades how many times, and we've always traded these well. If you look, most of the stocks that were sent out were at probability trades like ACTL, DCAC. And most of these trades brought profits. The only thing is, many people, what they do is they tend to hold these stocks as if they were dividend paying investments, and that's not what you do. You trade these stocks. You don't get emotionally attached to these stocks. Okay, now moving on to the BAYP. Okay, I noticed that this is in a bit of a wedge pattern and you're trading below it. Okay, so this is a little bit of resistance here, but you got a little bit of room here, okay, or not too much consolidation room before you can potentially break out above this level. So I'm looking at this level here about that that pivot break of 15 level here. Okay, if I look at that low, it's 0007. 7 and 100% is about 14. So watch that 14-15 break. If you break above that 14-15 break, okay, I wouldn't be surprised to test that 0.002 to 0.003. Okay, this is a post-reverse split, so there's not that many shares. I haven't checked if this has been updated, but this float is just 55 million as of February 27, 2015. You got an authorized share count of 700 million. You got outstanding shares of 239 million. So this is a share structure that we can deal with, okay? It's half the amount of the TSTS. And now if you look at it, okay, you closed at 0008, but you're right at that probability trade. So even if you add here from 9 to 10 to 11, simply place your stop close below that 9-10 level on 2 consecutive closes, and you can get out of the stock, okay, with a 10-20% risk. So my overall remarks: over 30 million volume accumulation on Friday near the end of the day. Okay, that is significant. So that means that traders were adding this. This is a post-reverse split stock that could break 0.0024. Pivot, if it does, could see a major breakout. With a low share structure, this stock could see a major move. Simply place your stop close below Friday's low, which is 0007 or 8 on 2 consecutive closes. That ensures you 20 to 30% risk. Okay. Any questions? Any questions on the BAYP trade? Okay, RNM says he likes the BAYP trade. This is a trade that we have traded before. Okay, this is the next ticker symbol. This is ticker symbol RBNW. Okay, this is what I call a retracement play or a line of symmetry play. Again, you're seeing this parallel line, parallel accumulation here. And when you notice is every time you kind of hit that level, you kind of get a bounce. Okay, now you're right at this level here. And you saw 1 day confirmation close above that level. So that 21 level that kissed, it held. And if you notice here, 1, 2, 3, 3-bar drop. Okay, so RBNW, I'm looking at that 0.0022 to 0.0032. Watch that 50% retrace from the previous support at 62. So the previous support was at 62. If we go 50 to 61.8%, you're looking at that 30 level. Okay, you go 30, this thing kissed 21, and then now it's trading at 36. So it held that level because it never confirmed below that 0.003 level on 2 consecutive closes. Okay, so that is a plus. So simply what you can do is place your stop close below that 21 2 times and then look to buy somewhere around that range. Okay, if you look at the RBNW, you're looking at authorized shares of just 200 million as of March 31st, 2015. Okay, and then you're looking at the outstanding shares of just 74 million. You may have to double check that through Nevada SOS. You may have to do your own due diligence for this stock. But what I noticed here was there was a catalyst here. Okay, recent news: Renewable Energy and Power Inc. signs a new contract with MDI Inc. for, okay, and this is the catalyst, 2016. So they have a contract signed, a letter of intent for 2016. You may get an update on this. Okay, so production and sales is anticipated to exceed $1 million. Okay, so now they're anticipating news that they're exceeding 1 million in revenue. Okay, so you may want to get in before the crowd. Okay, this stock, when I looked at the level 2, there was some disparity. Okay, there was a little bit of a bid-ask spread. So be cheap. Okay, let the stock come to you. If you notice that there is support, okay, at a major level, simply just place a trade or a buy above that support. Okay, the company will manufacture LED, okay, and related products for MDI, which anticipates increased sales with improvement in defense budgeting. Okay, defense budgeting, that's a key word. Defense budgeting in the United States. One of the most lucrative, okay, businesses in the US is defense. Okay, so I want traders to ensure that. Okay, RNM says that the RBNW Nevada SOS AS has not changed. Okay, so that is important. Now let's take a look at some of the things that I want to show you guys. If that 21 support doesn't hold, then you're going to look for that 12-15 buy zone. Okay, if you notice here, you had a huge volume here in January. Okay, a big sell. You see this big sell, and now you have some buying here. Okay, so you might have put in some a bottom. Okay, what we're looking for here is a close above that 0.007 level. There you have breakout range up to 0.012 to about 0.025. Okay, so I want traders to kind of understand that. Next ticker symbol is a little similar. We're looking at the ticker symbol NESV. NESV, same thing. It is in a considerable downtrend. I know traders don't like it, but don't like the downtrend. But every time you see this pattern, hits that low point, it kind of rallies. Okay, hits this low point, rallies. Hits this low point, rallies. Hits this low point, rallies. So what you see here is a pattern trade. Okay, I'm not looking at the stock for growth. I'm not looking for it to do anything major, but what I am looking for is a potential entry. Okay, you're seeing this stock kind of hit this pattern. So what you want to do is you want to kind of nail this pattern somewhere around these lows. Okay, if you notice here, you lost that 0.004 level, okay, or that 4.3 level, somewhere around that range. You go 50% retrace is somewhere around that 0.002 level. So watch that 0.002 to 25 level right now. Watch that 50% retrace from 39. If you look at 39, you go 50 to 61.8% retrace. You're talking about that 17, 18 level. Okay, so maybe you want to bid some 15s or something. Okay, 15 to 20. Be cheap. Let that stock come to you. If it happens to get to you, you simply place your stop close somewhere below that 20 to 30% risk. Okay, NESV authorized shares 150 million as of July 15, 2015. Outstanding shares is 61 million and the float's 5 million. I don't know how updated the share structure is, but that's a pretty good share structure if you ask me. Okay, now you look at the level 2 and let's say you see 5 million on the bid at 19.20. Okay, so maybe you want to take a buy at 21. Simply place your stop close below 20 on 2 consecutive closes, or 18. Okay, so that's how you want to manage this. You got your buy zone. Tomorrow you look at the level 2 and then you can kind of assess where you want to bid. Okay, so my remarks here is lost support at 39. Now found some support at 26, which was that new low. Watch for that kiss of that 0.002 support. If it does, could see that 15 to 20 buy zones. Watch your bid support on level 2 to assess and look for entry. Okay, so that's pretty much what I'm looking at right now. Okay, next ticker symbol is the COLV, the ticker symbol COLV for a rinse and repeat. Okay, if you notice, okay, every time it kind of gets into this level, it kind of bounces. Okay, you had this level here tested, it bounced. You had this level tested and it bounced. Okay, and you tested this level here at the 11-13 level, and then you had a bounce up to 29. You came down, and now what you're seeing is a little bit of support here. Simply all you need to do is just place your stop close below this bottom level here. I think that's 0.001, and then your next support is going to be that mental area 8, 9, and that move 1, 12 to 13. If you notice here, the scene of the crime here, every time it kind of hits this level here, it kind of bounces. So this was a considerable move here. When somebody bought this in September, this thing traders added it and it rallied all the way up to 0.0125. I like the risk reward here. Okay, My remarks here, it has authorized shares of 2 billion, but it just doesn't show it. Outstanding shares 352 million, and then the stock rally from 12 to 13, hitting a high of 29 off that mentioned new pivot high resistance. Watch that rinse and repeat. Entry for that major support at 0009 for a potential buy set. And forget, the stock is awaiting dividend news and also canceled a reverse split. Okay, so that's that ticker symbol. Next ticker symbol is ticker symbol APYP. Okay, if you notice here, we did lose that 25 support, that 0.0025 support. So now I'm looking at that 50% retrace from that 25 level. Okay, that's going to be somewhere around 17. Okay, watch that 12 to 15 buy zone. If it kisses it, you start noticing a pattern here. You hit this low here, you rallied. You hit this low here, you rallied. You hit this low here, and you rallied. Okay, so simple as that. Just look for that pattern. Okay, remarks 50% retrace from previous 52-week massive support. Okay, 0.005 level was lost. That's that 25 level. And right now you're trading 21. So you lost that 25 level. Okay, so now watch that close below 0.002 on 2 consecutive closes. If it does, watch that 12 to 15 buy zone. Okay, so that's pretty much it for the APYP, and that's that 25 level support that was lost. Okay, and this is the daily chart. Next ticker symbol is ticker symbol MXSG. Okay, MXSG, you could see a potential 1, 2, 3 bar drop here. Watch that 0.002 to 0.0031 level. Okay, you did lose this support here at that 0.004 level. Okay, the stock lost that 0.004 support recently, tested that 0.0031 new 52-week low, and is holding. Watch for a second day confirmation below 0.004. So tomorrow, if you close below 0.004, this one's coming down. If it does, could see that 50 to 61.8% retrace. This is an OTC commodity plays. You know how commodity plays are kind of weak right now. Metals have been in a bearish market, but you do see gold and silver kind of bouncing. So watch as there's global weakness in the economy in major markets, as investors may look at gold and silver as a safe haven. And if you notice that, we've had a bounce in the GLD and the SLV. So China is in devaluation of currency, shows that there is a currency war. I believe that metals will bounce, okay? And I do feel firmly about that. Okay, my catalyst here is going to be January 4th, 2016. It had news. I don't know if many people read the news. Okay, that was a couple of days ago. Mexis Gold, U.S. update on Julio property and assays from Eurus project. Okay, Mexis or the company announced today that it anticipates that in first part of 2016, again, first part of 2016 is a key word, one of the several mining companies currently reviewing the Julio Martha Elena property will pick up and continue where Argonaut left off. The company believes that the property has tremendous potential and that a well-funded company will use significant work already completed to further the project. So you may get some updates here. Okay, so watch for that bounce and watch that close above that pivot level of 52. You close above 52 level on 2 consecutive closes, you got upside to 0.007 to 0.009. Okay, so that MXSG release news Jan 4 on mining. Okay, what we're looking for is 0.004 close below that will signal lost support. Then we will look at 0.002 support. Okay, so that's an MXSG. Okay, that's what we're looking at right now. Okay, so that's pretty much it for the MXSG. Next ticker symbol is Btfl. We've traded this before. What I've noticed here is that the Btfl lost some support here. Okay, that 50% retrace. The stock loses its 0.002 support day one. Okay, we closed at 17. Now look for the stock to test new lows. If you close below 0.002 tomorrow, okay, watch that 50 to 61.8% retrace. Okay, if it does, it could see a solid bounce. Watch that 11 to 14 buy zone. okay, or simply place your buys at 0.001 or something for a bounce. Okay, Btfl security details, authorized shares 261 million. You got outstanding shares of 113 million as of November 16, 2015. I don't know if they updated that. I did not check the Nevada SOS. Okay, but this is a stock that we're looking for a close confirmation below 0.020. So, okay, loss day one at 0.002, closed at 0.0017. So Monday, we are looking for confirmation loss of 0.002 support. Okay, so if this does close below 0.002, okay, watch a potential move lower. Okay, and simply place your bids somewhere around this range 9, 10, 11, 12. You want to be cheap, be as cheap as you want. Okay, that's pretty much it. I'll mention some honorable mentions. Okay, AWGI, we traded this, we sent it out. I believe this thing sold low of 26, gave us an entry from 26 to 30. Then we rallied, hit a high of 50, I believe, 49 or 48, 49. Okay, and that was a good trade. Now, if you notice, this stock pulled back, hit a low of that 22. So what you're looking at is a potential entry here from 0.002 to 25. Simply place your stop close below 0.002. So if you look here, okay, it is in a downward trend, but you're at that buy zone here. So watch that AWGI for a re-entry, 0.002 to 25. Stop close below 26 on 2 consecutive closes, or 0.002, however you want it. And then your next support is going to be 15 to 20. We're looking for is a pivot break above this trend line, upper trend line here at 0.0042. Okay, so Penny Master says AS is 2.6 billion according to SOS. Okay, there you go. So keep an eye on the Btfl for 2.6 billion AS. You may see this test 0.001 for a scalp. Probability trade, if it gets down to 10, okay, maybe you'll be able to take 30, 40, 50%. Just look at the level 2. Okay, you want to bid 8s, 9s, then you bid the 8s, 9s. Okay, so that's the Btfl for you. Okay, good job, Penny Master, with bringing us that information. Okay, next ticker symbol is ticker symbol CEGX. CEGX right now, if you notice, okay, same thing. You hit this low. Okay, you bounce. You hit this low. You bounce. You hit this low. You bounce. Okay, and now if you notice here, we sent this out the other day, and the CEGX triggered an entry, I believe, at 25 or 30, and then you hit that high of 48, and now it's trading, and it may test that 0.002 level again. So watch that 0.002 to 25 on this one too. You guys want to be cheap, or what you can do is you can wait for a pivot break. I think that 0.002 re-entry would be good on this one. Okay, it is low share structure stock as well. Okay, so another one I want to show you guys is I noticed DBMM. You got a 50% retrace. This used to hold its support here at that 0.001 level. Okay, that was your old support, or that 0.0012 10 level mental support. You closed below it, 0008, day one. Okay, so you got a day one close below master support. Okay, so what you want to see is potential follow through. If this thing closes below 10 or 9 on Monday, okay, watch for a move lower. Okay, could see a 50% retrace from that old 12 level. So watch that 6, 7 level for an entry or your biggest support. Okay, next stock is ticker symbol MAXD. MAXD, same thing. This is an honorable mention. I will post it in the room. Okay, if you notice, every time it hits this bottom trend line, you get a bounce. Bottom trend line, you get a bounce. Okay, you got a 1-2 bar drop here. You may see a 3rd bar drop. Okay, this is a weekly chart, but if you notice, you're heading into some support here. You got a low share structure, 450 million. OS 396 million. Float is 20 million. Okay, and if you notice here, what I was looking at is that they have a lawsuit with Google. Okay, so they have a pending lawsuit with Google. So it provides an ongoing summary of its legal actions against Google and VSL. This was posted December 18, 2015. So you may get some news on Google. So just keep an eye on the news here for the MAXD. I think that this MAXD, okay, if it holds this 0.008 level, could be an opportunity to kind of trade this up to 0.019 to 0.023. Okay. Any questions, any mentions on anything that we've posted? Okay, so the MAXD has a pending lawsuit with Google. Okay, so what you want to see is that 0.008 support. Watch L2. You could see a 3-bar drop weekly on KISS of 0.008. All right. Okay, so that's pretty much it. That's everything that I have for you for this week. I was going to discuss the chat room. The chat room, a lot of guys are posting good information. I want to continue that. If you are going to post in the chat room, okay, if you are going to post in the chat room, all I ask is not just to be throwing out tickers. Okay, if something triggers, it will be sent out via mobile app. I will post a chart. I will post a level 2. I want traders to start learning, okay, how to start posting their setups. Okay, I want traders to kind of understand to start posting their setups. Okay, if you post a ticker and just the price per share, you're not really getting any benefits out of that. Okay, so if you are posting on the chat, I want traders to start using parameters or mentioning why they are picking or mentioning the stock. The reason I do this is because I want traders to start becoming more systematic and less emotional towards these trades. Okay, if you're going to post something, let's say the TPAC, okay, TPAC was a good trade. Okay, I remember when Tango mentioned it, and I just looked at that level 2, and it was just a horrible level 2. And I think that when he mentioned it, it was somewhere like around here or something. And I said, if I'm buying this, I want to buy somewhere around this box pattern. And if you notice, it kissed this level, came right back down, and then just rallied and broke above that 14 level. Okay, so I want traders to kind of start learning how to post their parameters. Okay, part of this learning process is for everybody to learn. And if you start just spewing out tickers and having a ticker parade, it just does nothing for us. There's a lot of confusion. Okay, so now Gil asks, does the gap fill theory apply to the stock that's dipping? Would it apply to NVIDIA? Well, I usually consider gap fills for most stocks, primarily ETFs. Okay, you do have a gap fill here on NVIDIA because it is true. Okay, that has a gap fill because you did gap on NVIDIA. So I wouldn't be surprised for this gap fill to kind of test, and it's actually filling now. So watch this gap fill here at that 27.79. Regardless whether you went options on this, okay, your stop close already confirmed. Okay, so I want traders to kind of understand that. If you close below 29 on 2 consecutive closes, okay, that's your confirmation. Okay, so I want traders to kind of understand that. If you look at your support here, pivot low to pivot low, that's where your support is now on the NVIDIA. That's that 27.28 level. Okay, but yes, that gap fill probably will get filled probably this week. Okay, so that's a good question by Gil. Okay, so again, we are going to discuss some potential group plays or a focus play for this week, and I will mention that during the chat room. I'm not going to mention it now because I want to see how these stocks trade. But if something pops up, I will post it in the chat room, and then I will post it in the mobile app. Now, traders that just can use SMS. If you're going to use SMS, just text 84483, and that word that you're going to text is lowercase case radio silent play. Okay, so that's for SMS. We don't use the other service that we have on the computer. I know I've been getting a lot of emails, but for SMS, what you're going to do is you're going to text the number 84483, and then you're going to text the word radio silent play. Okay, so I want traders to be more focal. If you are going to add something, okay, write it in your logbook. Okay, this is why we have the trading journal here. Okay, if anything stops out, I will post it in the trading journal. I will post what moves it's done. Move 1, move 2, move 3, so you guys can see the type of trade that it is. Okay, this is the evolution of trading now. Okay, this isn't, I know people the other day were mentioning that it's a flip. It's not a flip, it's a trade. Okay, part of it is looking for these key pivot levels to break. I'm going to say about 80 to 90% people in trading fail, and 80 to 90% people don't know what a pivot is, okay, or don't know what support levels are, okay, or see a stock break a level and they see it down 50, 60%, and what they start doing is crossing their fingers, or they start getting angry. Okay, if you're posting on social media, another thing that I saw was don't post your emotions there. If you start seeing a stock that's kind of pissing you off and you start posting that negative vibe on social media, it's not going to help you out. Okay, and I see that all the time. Just post what you see. Okay, be very systematic, be very robotic with these trades. Okay, because nobody's forcing you to buy these trades. Okay, basically all these trades, what they are is a risk. Okay, if you can manage risk, you will do well. If you don't know how to manage risk, you will not do well. Okay, that's just the bottom line. Okay, I noticed that that movie I did, and I recommended The Big Short, and there was a great scene where at the end, the actor Christian Bale sends an email to one of the guys that was just panicking, and he said he wanted his money, MFer, and at the end, okay, I think he got him close to 400% on return, and he just emailed him, "You're welcome." Okay, the whole thing is don't get emotional with this stuff. If you're taking that money, you know the risk. Okay, just set your parameters in there. Okay, traders got to understand what trading is, and I know Gil sent me an article, and if Gil you're on, please post that article in the group me, and it talks about how boring trading is, and trading is supposed to be boring. Okay, PFSD, yes, PFSD. If you notice, that was that 10 to 13 buy zone. It kissed that 13 level, and you hit a high of 21, 25, and you couldn't break that level. I think the PFSD is weak right now, because the traders are not going to be willing to trade that at the higher levels. So you see a huge bearish engulfing candle here. So I would not be surprised for that 0.001 level to be taken out on the PFSD. If you want to place your stop close below 10, or you want to start looking to buy somewhere around 8, 7, 9, take a look at where that level 2 is. Okay, I understand Penny Master is saying a doji, but at the same time, if you notice, okay, how many times did you attempt to break that level? Okay, you attempted it once, you attempted it twice, and now what you notice is you're right at that key line in the sand right now. Okay, you need to break that level. Okay, thus far, just keep an eye on where that support is. Okay, so the doji could be reversal. Yes, the doji could be a reversal. If you look here, okay, you do see some accumulation still. Okay, so what I want to see this stock do is break close above this 25 level on 2 consecutive closes. Okay, that's going to be key right there. That close above 25 2 times, or that buy zone somewhere at the lows, and just simply place your stop close below 10 2 times. Okay, any questions? Any questions on anything that I've covered thus far? Anything? Okay, beautiful. So we're going to have a great trading week this week. Thank you all for joining me today on the weekly watch list webinar. We will have another one next week, likely. Okay, there will be some boring trades out there. Okay, we are being very, very diligent on seeing what the market's going to give us this week. For scalps, I know I was going to talk and discuss about this. For scalps, news in the morning. Traders that have low liquidity, don't look at scalps. Usually what a scalp means is you're going to take a big portion of your liquidity and you're going to trade it for a scalp, 30 to 50%, even 20%. Okay, so some of the scalps work out, some of the scalps don't. Okay, so who's one of the, I forget that scalp that we took. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Have a good night, everyone, and thank you all for joining. Okay, I will see you all. Email me, Radio Silent Play, any questions. Okay, email me at Radio Silent Play, any questions. Okay, have a good night, everyone. Take care.